In the dense wild heart of the Chotanagpur Plateau, where the trees stood like silent sentinels and mist crept low to the earth even at midday, a party of 5 made their way through the jungle. It was the autumn of 1891, and the British Raj was expanding its reach into the untouched interior. At its head was a surveyor named Edward Collingwood, a man of science, empire, and cold resolve. He was accompanied by 4 Indian guides: Mukund, Rajat, Harjit, and Babalal. Locals familiar with the treacherous paths, animal calls, and tribal warnings etched into the very soil. Their task was to chart a new route through the highland for rail lines. For the empire, it was progress. For the forest, it was disturbance. As they approached the thickest part of the jungle near Lohardaga, they were stopped by an old woman. "Do not stay in the jungle after dark," she warned. Collingwood scoffed at her. "We don't fear your jungle tales, madam." The guides, though, exchanged nervous glances. That night, they made camp beneath a thick canopy near a trickling stream. The air was still, unnaturally so. No chirps, no howls, just the sound of wind moving too deliberately through the trees. They lit a fire and stayed close. But in the early hours before dawn, Rajat vanished. No cries, no scuffle, just gone. In the morning, they found a torn strip of his white turban tangled in thorny underbrush and a single bare footprint in the mud, elongated, twisted, not quite human. Collingwood insisted they press on. But that night, Collingwood himself disappeared. Blood smeared the flap of his tent. It led in a jagged trail deep into the trees. The remaining guides, Mukund, Harjit, and Babalal, debated fleeing, but something in the jungle compelled them to follow. They tracked the blood trail to a place the Ferez seemed to have forgotten, a wide clearing of barren land, ringed by trees that bent away from the center, as if repelled by what stood there. At the center was a stone statue, but eyeless, mouthless. Its face was a blank slab. Mukund gasped, "The faceless one." "My grandfather told stories. A spirit older than man. It feels your fear, your heartbeat." That night, they made camp far from the clearing, setting firewood in a circle around them, keeping lanterns burning. But the jungle was alive, not with animals, but with something else. Footsteps that stopped when they listened, breath that wasn't theirs, and the heartbeat. Each man felt it, not their own, but something thudding just behind them, as though it stood inches away, waiting for the light to go out. Then came the voice, "Mukund." It was faint, almost a whisper riding the wind. "Mukund, please. I'm cold." Mukund's blood froze. It was Rajat's voice, but Rajat had been gone for days, swallowed by the forest on the second night, presumed dead. There had been no sign, no sound, nothing, until now. "Mukund, it's me. I need help." The voice came again, closer this time, clearer. It came from just beyond the trees. Mukund stood slowly, eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" he whispered. Babalal looked up, fear-stricken. "No one is there, Mukund. Rajat is gone." But Harjit had heard it too. He stood up with a confused look on his face, glancing back at the others. "It sounded like Rajat," he said. "Maybe he's alive." Mukund grabbed his arm. "Don't, it's not him." But Harjit shrugged off his gurya and stepped into the jungle, lantern held high. "Rajat! Rajat, where are you?" The jungle swallowed him whole. They waited, called his name. But Harjit never returned. For nights they ran, sleeping only when exhaustion collapsed them. Mukund once turned during the night and glimpsed something just at the edge of the dying lantern's glow. Tall, thin, with no face but listening. Finally, after what felt like weeks lost in a maze of primal fear, they stumbled into a colonial forest post. Starved, raving, and broken. The British authorities dismissed the story as hysteria. But soldiers were sent. That area was barred from entry. Locals forbidden to speak of it. Years passed. Mukund never forgot. Even decades later, as an old man, he refused to sleep in the dark. He never went near that part of Chotanagpur again. But once in 1936, as his train passed near the forbidden jungle, he felt it again. A coldness on his skin, and through the fogged window he saw the tree line. And in the clearing, something standing motionless, waiting. Even today, the elders speak in hushed tones of the faceless one who hunts by heartbeat. They say it walks only where fear guides it, and it waits for the moment the last flame dies. And Mukund, he still dreams. And in those dreams, the fire always goes out.